Today, today is the fourth day that we have been talking about mudita and practicing it. I'd like to focus on one aspect, one further aspect from the commentary. It says in Pali, Arati Vikata Pachupatthana. Arati Vikata Pachupatthana. The quality of mudita helps us to dispel the negative emotion of irritation, annoyance, agitation, disinterest, like that. We have been talking about disinterest for the last 2 days. When we are not interested in what is happening here and now, the present moment, maybe a lecture, maybe somebody attending, a conference, or maybe somebody tending a garden, maybe somebody enjoying his own coffee, his own wealth, his own knowledge, and to be disinterested is a form of, in Pali what we call arati, is a form of unhappiness. It may be very mild, it may be not as obvious. Nevertheless, that's the seed of unhappiness. Arati Vikata Pachupatthana. This is the how commentary, Abhidhamma commentary, the Athasalini talks about it. We can easily be annoyed by something that we don't agree, annoyed by something that we think is nonsense. Sometimes we are even annoyed by someone's ignorance. We become really impatient with someone's ignorance. If we have to repeat the same thing again and again. Here, we can compare ourselves with a mother who has only one child. Mata yata niyam buddha. A mother would teach her child a language, maybe a word, how to say a word, again and again until her child gets it. How to walk and how to eat by themselves. The mother takes a lot of time and she has all the patience. Why? Because she has both karuna and mudita, the qualities. Here, although we are talking about mudita, joyful feeling, I like to bring in, I just like to mention, one aspect of compassion, karuna, that is sattanang anatha bhava tasana padata. To look at living beings as if they are helpless. To feel motivated in helping them. So because the mother has that quality, she has all the patience in guiding her child, in teaching her child. And when her child can pronounce one word, maybe mommy, daddy, lunch, good, like that, the mother is overjoyed. The ability of the mother to feel mudita for her child is extraordinary. This is the very reason why the Buddha has chosen a mother with only one child to do this, to teach us about Brahmavihara qualities. Okay, the mother and only one child. If we see somebody doing so well, at that moment when that person is in front of us, can we be totally focused, concentrated? Can we pay our total attention to that person, rejoicing in that person's achievement? Many of us, okay, we will have short attention span in this kind of situation, because our brain default position, as I mentioned, as I discussed the other day, is fear. Instead of rejoicing in the person's success, in the person's positive qualities, we actually feel threatened. We feel threatened by the person's success. We feel if the person would get more recognition, would get more attention, would get more credit. These are all fear. Fear. So, Arati Vigata Pajupatthana, this description of mudita talks about removing fear, which is the cause of unhappiness, the cause of annoyance. When we see somebody doing something nonsense, now subconsciously, if our mind cannot make sense of anything, there is fear. We only feel comfortable when we can make sense, when the world makes sense. So the world remains a scary place until we make sense of everything. When the Buddha told us that we should look at the world as impermanence, whatever we look at it, okay, things are changing all the time, never remaining the same. So if we look at that, in us, in other people, in the people we love, in the people we hate, in the people who love us, in the people who hate us, actually everything is the same. Things are just changing all the time, never lasting forever. Everything is transient and impermanent. Then, both at the conscious level and subconscious level, everything makes sense. At that moment, fear drops. Fear drops. So, in working on mudita, this evening, I'm going to ask you to expand a little bit. We are still working on 3 groups, the first 3 groups. The first one, ourselves. The second one, our nearest and dearest one, that is our family members and teachers. The third one, our colleagues. But here, the procedure for this evening, the first one, please focus on yourself, just on yourself. The hard work that you put in order to write An essay, how much you have to read. Look at your own effort. Look at what you are producing. I'm just taking a student's life as an example. Teachers, lecturers, a staff, a librarian, a cook, an office staff, a cataloger, a digitizer, everyone. Okay, just think about one piece of work. To get one piece of work done, how much effort you have to put into. Think about it. Spend some time on yourself until you can feel mudita. Now once you can feel mudita on yourself, now without thinking about the success of the second group and the third group as we did yesterday, today I'd like to introduce you mudita and the law of interdependence. When you write your essay, there are many people who support you directly and indirectly. When you read a text, when you read maybe a secondary source, you read a book. To write one book takes usually about 2.5 years. In Oxford, professors take about 2.5 years to complete a research so that it becomes a book. So if you read, for your essay, if you read 3 books, trying to see those authors, those scholars with their work, how they put effort into their work until they become published. Rejoice in their effort, in their knowledge, in their success, which is a part of your work now. In other words, recognize their role in your work. If you read a Pali text, well, it has taken many centuries for the Tripitaka, the Buddhist scriptures, to be to accumulate a form that they are now. In a text, as a printed text, as a digital form, as a digital format. Just about 150 years ago, people were still using manuscript, palm leaves, like that. 200 years ago. And it took a lot of time for them, a lot of effort for them to actually preserve those. And the transportation, the communication was very difficult. Anyway, they preserved the whole Tripitaka. So they are part, we have to recognize their role. When we write. I'm not saying that we need to write about them, but to rejoice, to feel grateful, to rejoice in their hard work, in their good job, in their good work. And then to feel connected with them. Our parents did their best for us. So we need to recognize that role as well. Our teachers, and perhaps the teachers of our teachers, if we know them, they ensure that we have this opportunity to succeed. And if you think about your success in the past, you can apply this practice in the same way. So by expanding the energy of karuna in this way, okay, by recognizing the role of other people, directly or indirectly, in your own success, you are overcoming many things, many negative emotions. Self-centeredness, for a start. Now, we still have self-confidence. Nevertheless, we wouldn't be too self-centered, we wouldn't be too full of ourselves. We will stay connected with the people, some directly, some indirectly, in enabling our success. For me to write an essay, I need to use the electricity. There's a huge industry, the people who created it, and up to the people who made it possible that we have good electricity here at this university. So all around, there are many things for us to rejoice in. And this is the way to remove a habit of being annoyed easily, being irritated easily, being too judgmental about what we see, what we hear. By doing so, we will still be coming face to face with the old problem of being disinterested in the role of other people, in recognizing the role of other people in our life, in our success. We don't feel comfortable to acknowledge that as a human being, we need each other so much. We don't feel that comfortable. We have fear if we accept, if we recognize that way, that our role will become insignificant, our success will become insignificant, and other people will take advantage of us. They will become dominant in our life. We have all sorts of fear. So if mudita diagnoses that kind of fear, then there's a good progress. Mudita is helping you to diagnose deeper and deeper issues, problems to work with. And we should be happy to work on those issues. So let me simplify once again the instruction. First is just to develop mudita for yourself, for your hard work, for your success, for what you're doing, for what you have done, for who you are. By doing this, the end result is that we all will be comfortable in our own skin. Spend about half of the time, maybe 2/3 of the time on yourself. From now on, you will have about 20 minutes because I'll be speaking in Burmese as well. So spend 10 minutes at least on yourself, maybe more, 15 minutes like that. Then, in the end, recognize other people, the role of other people in your life. In your life. And look at how the Buddha recognized other people's role in the Jataka. He recognized them. And when we recognize them, one byproduct result that we get is reconciliation. Reconciliation with our past, reconciliation with other people. We felt annoyed. We used to feel annoyed. So that would be the end result. So now you can start meditating. I'm going to be speaking in Burmese. ဒီနေ့မုဒိတာအကြောင်းဆက်မယ်၄ရက်မြောက်ပါဒီနေ့ပြောချင်တဲ့အရာတစ်ခုကတော့အဘိဓမ္မာအထက်ကထာအဓိကအထက်ကထာကြီးဖြစ်တဲ့အထာပါဠိနည်းကျမ်းစာထဲမှာပါတဲ့မုဒိတာအကြောင်းလေးတစ်ခုပါပဲအများကြီးပါပါတယ်ဒီနေ့ညတော့တစ်ခုပြောချင်တယ်အဲ့ဒါတော့အာရတိဝိခာဒပစ္စုပ္ပတ္ထာနာမုဒိတာပွားရင်မုဒိတာဖြစ်ရင်မပျော်ရွှင်တဲ့စိတ်အလိုလိုပြောင်းသွားမယ်မပျော်ရွှင်တဲ့စိတ်ကသူ့အတူဘယ်ကနေပေါ်လာမှမသိဘူးအလိုလိုနေရင်စိတ်တူလွယ်တယ်ကိုမကြိုက်တဲ့အရာနဲ့တွေ့ရင်စိတ်တူလွယ်တယ်ကိုနားမလဲတဲ့စကားပြောရင်စိတ်ထဲမှာစိတ်ညစ်လွယ်တယ်နေမတိထိုင်မသာဖြစ်တယ်ဘုမောအဲ့ဒါဒီခဏခဏတရားထိုင်တယ်တရားထိုင်တဲ့စိတ်ထဲမှာအဲ့ဒီပြဿနာလုံးဝကြော်လွန်နိုင်ပြီလားဆိုအကုန်လုံးတော့မကြော်လွန်နိုင်သေးဘူးနေ့စဉ်စပိန်နိုင်ငံဆာဗီယက်နိုင်ငံဟန်ဂေရီနိုင်ငံအဲ့နိုင်ငံတွေကြွပြီးတော့တရားစခန်းလုပ်ရင်ဘုံမောကအင်္ဂလိပ်လိုပြောတယ်သူတို့ကသူတို့နိုင်ငံရဲ့ဘာသာစကားနဲ့ပြန်ပြီးတော့ဘာသာပြန်ရတယ်သူတို့ဘာသာပြန်တဲ့အချိန်မှာသူတို့ပြောတဲ့စကားကိုနားမလည်ပါဘူးအဲ့လိုနားမလည်တဲ့အချိန်မျိုးမှာစိတ်ထဲမှာတင်းမာမှုရှိသလားနေမထိထိုင်မသာရှိသလားဒီလူကလည်းဘာသာပြန်ရတာကြားရတာအဲ့လိုစိတ်မျိုးဖြစ်သလားအဲ့လိုဖြစ်တဲ့ဆိုရင်အာရတိဆိုတာမပျော်ရွှင်တဲ့စိတ်ဖြစ်နေတာမပျော်ရွှင်တဲ့စိတ်ဖြစ်နေတာကိုနားမလဲတဲ့ဘာသာစကားကိုယ့်ရဲ့ရှေ့မှာပြောရင်ကိုယ့်ရဲ့ရှေ့မှာပြောရင်အဲ့ဒီအချိန်မှာကိုက comfortable ဖြစ်ရလားနေတာထိုင်တာရှိရလားအဲ့ဒါနဲ့စားနောက်ပြီးတော့ကိုမသိတဲ့လူတယောက်ပါလာရင်ဟိုမှာအစည်းအဝေးတွေပါလာမယ်ဒါမှမဟုတ်ထမင်းဝိုင်းတွေပါလာမယ်အဲ့လိုပါလာတယ်ဆိုရင်ကိုယ်မှာစိုးရိမ်တဲ့စိတ်ကြောက်တဲ့စိတ်တန်တရားတွေနဲ့ဟိုတွေးတဲ့စိတ်အဲ့စိတ်တွေပါလာတယ်ဆိုရင်အဲ့ဒီစိတ်ကိုအာရတိလို့ခေါ်တယ်အာရတိဆိုတာကမပျော်ရွှင်တဲ့စိတ်ပေါ့ကိုယ်နဲ့ကြောင်းမတူတဲ့လူဥပမာဆရာဝန်2ယောက်တယောက်ကဆေးတစ်ကတယောက်ကဆေးနှစ်ကတယောက်ကမန်းလေးကတယောက်မကွေးကဆေးကြောင်းချင်းမတူ အဲ့မတူတဲ့ဟာတွေ့တဲ့အခါမှာစိတ်ထဲမှာတင်းမာမှုဖြစ်သလားအဲ့လိုတယောက်ကပြည်တွင်းမှာ MSc ရတယ် MSc ရတယ်စေပညာတစ်မျိုးမျိုးနဲ့တယောက်ကနိုင်ချားနေရလာအဲ့နိုင်ချားရလာတဲ့တယောက်ကိုကြည့်ပြီးတော့ကိုယ့်ရဲ့စိတ်ထဲမှာတည်ငြိမ်မှုရှိသလားတင်းမာမှုရှိသလားဒါမျိုးတွေပေါ့အဲ့စိတ်မျိုးကိုအာရတိမပျော်ရွှင်တဲ့စိတ်လို့ခေါ်အဲ့ဒီမပျော်ရွှင်တဲ့စိတ်အားလုံးကိုမုဒိတာကဖြည့်ရှင်းပေးနိုင်တယ်အဲ့ဒါကြောင့်ဘာလို့ဖို့လို့တော့ဆိုကိုအောင်မြင်တဲ့ဟာကိုကြိုးစားတာတချို့ဟာတွေလောက်တာမအောင်မြင်ပေမဲ့ကိုကြိုးစားတဲ့ဟာကိုပြန်စဉ်းစားအဲ့လိုစဉ်းစားပြီးတော့ကိုဟာကိုခုံယူပါမုဒိတာဖြစ်ပါမုဒိတာဖြစ်ပါအဲ့လိုဖြစ်ပါများရင်မုဒိတာဖြစ်ပါများရင်မတူတဲ့လူနဲ့တွေ့ရင်ပဲဖြစ်ဖြစ်ကြောင်းမတူတဲ့လူနဲ့တွေ့တာပဲဖြစ်ဖြစ်နိုင်ငံချင်းမတူတဲ့ဒီနိုင်ငံချင်းကိုပွဲရတာနဲ့နိုင်ငံချင်းမတူတဲ့ပုဂ္ဂိုလ်နဲ့ပဲတွေ့တက္ကသိုလ်ချင်းမတူတဲ့လူနဲ့ပဲတွေ့ကိုယ့်ရဲ့စိတ်ထဲမှာချက်ချင်းသူတို့ကိုကြည့်ပြီးတော့သူတို့တွေလည်းဝန်တာဘာဖြစ်လို့သူတို့တွေကိုဝန်တာနေတာတော့ဆိုကိုလှုပ်တဲ့ဟာကိုကကြနနယူသားမှန်ကန်ဝန်တာထားလို့ဝန်တာမှုဖြစ်ထားလို့အဲ့ဒီဝန်တာတဲ့စိတ်ကမုဒိတာစိတ်ကစိတ်ကိုတည်ကြည်စေတယ်ပါဠိလိုပြောရင်တော့ဖာမောစာတို့ပီတိတို့ကတမာတိဖြစ်စေတယ်ပေါ့စာစကားတော့ခဏလေးထားအောင်ကိုလုံနိုင်တဲ့အရာကိုခဏတွေးပြီးတော့ကိုမုဒိတာဖြစ်ရင်တခြားလူတွေလုံနိုင်တာကိုကြည့်တဲ့အခါမှာကိုယ်မှာတိမ်ငယ်တဲ့စိတ်အားငယ်တဲ့စိတ်မဖြစ်တော့ဘူးတိမ်ငယ်တဲ့စိတ်အားငယ်တဲ့စိတ်ဖြစ်နေသေးတယ်ဆိုရင်ကိုယ်အကြောင်းကိုပြန်တွေးရမယ်ခဏပြန်တွေးရမယ်မူလတန်းကလေးကစားပြီးတော့ကြိုးစားခဲ့တယ်ကိုယ်ပိုင်လုပ်ငန်းလုပ်တဲ့ပုဂ္ဂိုလ်တွေလည်းပဲတခါတည်းကိုယ်ပိုင်လုပ်ငန်းမလုပ်ခင်တော့ပညာစသင်တဲ့အချိန်ကြိုးစားလာတဲ့အချိန်အဲ့ဒါတွေပြန်တွေးတွေးပြီးရင်အဲ့ဒါကိုယ့်ကိုမုဒိတာဖြစ်အောင်လုပ်ပြီးရင်ကိုယ့်နဲ့နှိစက်တဲ့ပုဂ္ဂိုလ်တွေသူတို့ကောင်းတာတွေမြန်တွေးသူတို့ကြိုးစားတာတွေတွေးပြီးတော့မုဒိတာဖြစ်အဲ့လိုမဟုတ်ဘူးဆိုရင်ကောင်းတဲ့အလုပ်ကိုလုပ်တာချင်းတူတာတော့မှစိတ်ထဲမှာဝမ်းမြောက်ဝမ်းသာမဖြစ်နိုင်ဥပမာအတန်းကြောင်းနဲ့ကြောင်းဟိုဘက်ကြောင်းနဲ့ကြိုးစားတယ်ဒီဘက်ကြောင်းနဲ့ကြိုးစားတယ်ကိုကြိုးစားတဲ့ဟာကိုဝမ်းမြောက်ဝမ်းသာဖြစ်ဖို့မေ့တယ်ဆိုရင်ဟိုဘက်ကြောင်းကကြိုးစားတာကိုကြည့်ပြီးတော့ကိုယ်မှာကြောက်စိတ်တွေဖြစ်တယ်သူတို့အောင်မြင်လို့ငါတို့ရဲ့အကြောင်းကအရေးမပါပဲဖြစ်သွားမလားတိမ်ငယ်သွားမလားသူများအထင်သေးမလားသူတို့လိုအောင်မြင်ပါမလားအဲ့ဒီလိုစိုးရင်စိတ်တွေအများကြီးဖြစ်လိမ့်မယ်တဲ့ကြောင်းစိတ်တွေအများကြီးဖြစ်လိမ့်မယ်ဘာဖြစ်လို့အဲ့လိုဖြစ်တာတော့ကိုယ့်ရဲ့အောင်မြင်မှုကိုယ့်ရဲ့ကြိုးစားမှုကိုမေ့နေလို့ပြောနိုင်ပါရဲ့နဲ့ပြောဖို့မေ့နေတဲ့ပုဂ္ဂိုလ်ဖြစ်နေတဲ့အတွက်ကြောင့်မို့လို့ကြောက်စိတ်ကအလိုလိုဝင်လာပါတယ်လာပြီးတော့အုပ်ဆိုးပါတယ်ဒါကြောင့်မပျော်ရွှင်တဲ့စိတ်ကိုကျော်လွှားနိုင်ဖို့အတွက်ဆိုမုဒိတာလုပ်ပါ ဆရာဝန်2ယောက်ဆိုရင်ဆရာဝန်တခြားဆရာဝန်ဟိုတယောက်ကတယောက်ကိုကြည့်ပြီးတော့စိတ်ထဲမှာcomfortable တတာမဖြစ်သေးဘူးဆိုရင်ကိုတောက်လျှောက်ကြိုးစားပြီးတော့ဆရာဝန်ဖြစ်လာတဲ့ဟာကိုမေ့နေလို့ဂုဏ်ယူဖို့မေ့နေလို့အမှန်ကတော့အဲ့ဒီကိုဆရာဝန်တယောက်တည်းဘယ်လို့မှလုပ်လို့မနိုင်ပါဘူးတခြားဆရာဝန်တွေမရှိဘဲနဲ့ကိုဆရာဝန်လည်းဖြစ်မလာနိုင်တခြားဆရာဝန်တွေကိုလိုအပ်တယ်ဆရာဝန်တယောက်တည်းပဲရှိတယ်ဆိုရင်သူ့ဆေးကံချင်းပဲလုပ်နိုင်တယ်ကြေပြန့်မလုပ်နိုင်ဘူးတယောက်ကိုတယောက်တလောက်အထိလိုအပ်နေတာတော့တယောက်ကိုတယောက်တွေးတဲ့အခါမှာဆရာဝန်တွေများတာဝမ်းမသာနိုင်ပဲနဲ့စိတ်ထဲမှာစိုးရင်စိတ်တွေကြောက်စိတ်တွေဖြစ်နေတယ်သူများငါ့ထက်ပိုပြီးတော့များပါသွားမလားပိုပြီးတော့အရေးပါသွားမလားအဲ့ဒီစိတ်မျိုးဖြစ်ရင်ကိုဟာကိုမုဒိတာပြန်လုပ်ပါမုဒိတာပြန်လုပ်ပါမုဒိတာကြိုးစားပြီးတော့လုပ်ပါဆရာဝန်ဖြစ်ဖို့အတွက်ဘယ်လောက်ကြိုးစားခဲ့ရတယ်အဲ့ဒါတွေပြန်စဉ်းစားပါတခါကျတော့ဆရာဝန်ချင်းအင်ဂျင်နီယာချင်းဘွဲရတဲ့လူချင်းတခြားသေပံပညာတွေရောဝိဇ္ဇာတွေရောအကုန်လုံးဘုဒ္ဓတာတွေအကုန်လုံးဓမ္မရှိတာတွေကြီးပဲအဲ့လိုရတဲ့နေရာမှာဘွဲရတဲ့နေရာမှာကိုနဲ့ batch ချင်းနှစ်ချင်းမတူဘူးဆိုရင်ကိုယ်တည်းကြီးတာပဲဖြစ်ကိုယ်တည်းငယ်တာကိုယ်တည်းငယ်တဲ့လူကိုတစ်နှစ်လောက်ဂျူနီယာဖြစ်တဲ့လူကိုအရန်ကြီးအလေးမပေးတာတို့ကိုလောက်အရေးမပါဘူးထင်တာတို့ significant ကိုလောက် significant မဖြစ်ဘူးထင်တာတို့ကိုယ်တည်းပို့ပြီးတော့အတန်းကြီးတဲ့ပုဂ္ဂိုလ်တယောက်ကိုလည်းပဲအကြောင်းမရှိဘဲနဲ့သူ့ရဲ့လုပ်ငန်းတွေမကြည့်ဘဲနဲ့အလိုလိုနေရင်သွားပြီးတော့အထင်ကြီးတာတော့အဲ့ဒီလို automatic အထင်ကြီးတဲ့အထင်သေးတာအဲ့ဒီစိတ်တွေဖြစ်ရင် mood swing ဆိုတာစိတ်အတက်ကြအလွယ်တကူဖြစ်နိုင်တယ်မုဒိတာများလုပ်ပါမုဒိတာများလုပ်ပါခေါင်းတာတွေများတွေးပါဘွယ်တစ်ခုရဖို့အတွက်ဘယ်လောက်ထိကြိုးစားရတယ်အဲ့ဒါလေးတွေးပါတွေးပြီးတော့လေးစားပါနော်ဒီမုဒိတာထဲမှာအတိမပြုတာလေးစားတဲ့ကာရဝပါပြီးသားပဲဒီထဲမှာပါပြီးသားဒါဖြင့်ဒီနေ့ညဘယ်လိုကျင့်ခြင်းမုဒိတာကိုဘယ်လိုကျင့်စေခြင်းလဲဆိုနံပါတ်1ကတော့ကိုယ့်ရဲ့လုပ်ငန်းကိုယ့်ရဲ့အောင်မြင်မှုအကြောင်းအဲ့ဒါများတွေးပါကိုယ်လုပ်တဲ့အလုပ်ဘယ်လောက်အရေးပါတယ်ဆိုတော့အဲ့ဒါများတွေးပါများတွေးပါကိုယ်လုပ်ငန်းဘယ်လောက်အရေးပါတယ်များတွေး10မိနစ်လောက်တွေးနော်တစ်ခုပြီးတစ်ခုတွေးတစ်ခုပြီးတစ်ခုတွေးဘယ်လိုကြိုးစားခဲ့ဆိုတစ်ခုပြီးတစ်ခုတွေးအဲ့လိုတွေးပြီးပြီဆိုရင်ဒုတိယပိုင်းကျတော့ကိုယ့်ရဲ့အောင်မြင်မှုထဲမှာနံပါတ်1အုပ်စုနဲ့နံပါတ်3အုပ်စုသူတို့ရဲ့အခန်းကဏ္ဍကိုအတိမတ်ပြုပါတယ်နံပါတ်2အုပ်စုကတော့မိဘတွေကိုအောင်မြင်တဲ့နေရာမှာကိုယ့်ရဲ့မိဘကဘယ်လောက်ထိအရေးပါတယ်တချို့ကြတော့ပတ်စံပေးတာအောင်မှပဲသွားပြီးတော့မှတ်မိတယ်ပတ်စံမပေးဘူးဆိုရင်မမှတ်မိဘူးမိဘကငယ်ကလေးကစားပြီးတော့ပြူစုပြိုးထောင်လာခဲ့တာသူတို့ရဲ့အခန်းကဏ္ဍအတိမတ်ပြုပါမောင်နှမတွေအခန်းကဏ္ဍအတိမတ်ပြုပါဆရာသမားတွေအခန်းကဏ္ဍအတိမတ်ပြုပါ ကိုယ့်ရဲ့အာမြင်မှုတစ်ခုတစ်ခုထဲမှာတခြားပုဂ္ဂိုလ်တွေရဲ့အခန်းကဏ္ဍအတိမတ်ပြုပါနံပါတ်1အုပ်စုရဲ့အခန်းကဏ္ဍကမိဘနဲ့ဆရာသမားနံပါတ်3ကျတော့လို့ဖို့ခံဖက်တွေသူတို့ရဲ့အခန်းကဏ္ဍကိုယ့်ရဲ့အာမြင်မှုမှာသူတို့ရဲ့အခန်းကဏ္ဍအဲ့ဒါလေးတွေးပါအတိမတ်ပြုပါအဲ့လိုတွေးတဲ့အခါမှာစိတ်ဝင်စားတာမျိုးလေးဖြစ်တတ်တယ်စိတ်ဝင်စားမှုဖြစ်ပြီးဆိုရင်စိတ်ဝင်စားတာကိုတတိလေးနဲ့လက်ခံပေးပါ။အော်စိတ်ဝင်စားမှုဖြစ်နေတယ်။စိတ်ဝင်စားမှုဖြစ်နေတယ်။အဲစိတ်ဝင်စားမှုဟာမပြောရှင်မှုရဲ့အခြေခံပဲ။သူတို့ဘာရဲ့အခန်းကဏ္ဍမိမိဘဝထဲမှာသူတို့ဘာရဲ့အခန်းကဏ္ဍစိတ်ဝင်စားတာနော်ဒါအတ္တဖြစ်ခြင်းမပြောရှင်ခြင်းရဲ့အခြေခံပါပဲဒါကြောင့်ဒီနေ့ညအကျဉ်းချုပ်အောင်မယ်ဆိုရင်ကိုအောင်မြင်မှုကိုကြိုးစားမှုမြင်မြတ်စဉ်းစားပါစဉ်းစားလို့စိတ်ထဲမှာပေါ်ပါလာပြီဆိုရင်ကိုအောင်မြင်မှုထဲမှာတခြားလူရဲ့အခန်းကဏ္ဍကိုတွေးပါအတိမပြုပါမုဒိတာဖြစ်ပါနောက်ထပ်7မိနစ်တရားထိုင်မယ် dedicate our practice to the Triple Gems and share our merit. Imaya Dhammanu Dhamma Nipatiya Buddhaṃ Bhuje Imaya Dhammanu Dhamma Patipadiya Dhammam Bhuje Imaya Dhammanu Dhamma Patipadiya Dhammam Bhuje Dhammanu Dhamma Patipadiya Thadi Jaram Dhimarana Ma Padimuje Sami Idang Me Punyam Asawakaya Wahang Hotu Idang Me Punyam Nibbanasa Bhajayo Hotu Mang Punya Bhag Sabha Satana Dema Pupaje Kusumidinai Mi Nam Hau Kakataka Lai Sang Parami Ma Lai Sen Kampa Sen Tăng Đông Ai Chim Bi Chim Sang Sa Sim Kun Viya Satava Nơ Sa Cha Vật La Ananda Sa Cha Vật La Thang Sinh Khen Tô Hum Hum Chum Chum Sa Thu Anumodana Lai Hấp Cu Su Phón Đi Phiền Bên Gắn Sinh Sinh Sa Cam Đuôi Ta Nô Sa Thu Sa Thu Sa Thu Đà Nạ Nha Sì La Nha Thọ Na Nha Thăng Sinh Thăng Lông Dạ Đô Hồn Đô Ha Hiểm Ẩm Lai Côn Hiểm Ẩm Lai Sát Thà Hiểm Ẩm Lai Yon Bạc Hằng Vai Hai Mạc Hồ Trái Hốc A Trò Trao Hoa Thiyo Sư Amata Nibbana Ti Cát Yên Sa Cam Lụy Ta Nô Sa Thu Sa Thu Sa Sa Thu Vanda Mi Bhante Sabha Abharadang Khammadame Bhante Maya Kadang Punyang Samina Anumoditava Samina Kadang Punyang Mahang Thadapan Sadhu สาธุอนุโมทามิวันตาสัพพิติโยวิวัจจันตุสุขโรโควินัสตุมาเตภวันตันตรายาสุขิติกายุโกภวะอภิวันทนาสิริสานิจังวุฒาปัจจายโนจัตตารุธรรมวัฏฏันติอายุวันโนสุขังภาลาพระมีขอถามdiscussion
Like yesterday when you teach, you have to contemplate mudita on above, below, and the horizontal. I found that above and below very easy. It just naturally you have mudita with person that better than you or lower than you. And then for horizontal, I found there's a limit there for me. I could do to the extent I remember when I was studying in Thailand. I have many classmates around 30. So usually during the final exam, everyone is very busy with the assignment that not yet finished. So usually I'll finish like near the midterm. So during final, I just do consistently. It's easy, no pressure. And then like for my friends and classmates, they still busy doing the assignment, so they couldn't prepare well for the final exam. So usually we study in the library. We have 1 week free to prepare for final exam. And then at that time, they are very pressured because it's run out of time and they haven't do the revision to prepare for the answer. And then some friends will come to us. These 12 chapters, teachers say probably every chapter these few areas you have to focus. But I cannot find the answer. The teacher say, do you know which page number? For maybe 1.5 of the chapter, maybe 5 or 6 chapter, then I think he's really no time. Another 3 days he cannot finish all reading. So I can tell him which page number, which paragraph you can find this. So he very happy. So I'm also happy he would not fail the course. And then for the friends that say better than me, they have better knowledge that like they from Sri Lanka, they have very good knowledge on the Tipitaka. So I'm very happy to learn from them. So it's really easy to connect with higher and lower. But for horizontal, let's say the friend, they do not understand what teacher teach in the Mahayana doctrine or Vajrayana doctrine, they will come and ask. So what I understand, I will explain to them so they can understand. But to some extent, because teachers say that when you answer the question during the exam, you shouldn't just repeat what I say in the class. You have to read more from many books, so then you will get better marks. But retrieve the data from you, so tomorrow he'll answer just like what you say. And then for that, I have a feeling that I'm not happy to help. I feel that I'm look like a fool that you just retrieve all the data. If you don't understand the lesson, I can explain to you. But just tomorrow exam, in order to retrieve the data, it almost every semester like that. So now when I recall back, I have this kind of limitation that I am not willing to help. So I hope that I could break through this. That's why I tell my problem.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very good. Mudita helps you to diagnose it. I mean, not helping is one thing, but feeling annoying is another. At the moment you connect them, actually they're two separate things. If, because of the time limit and you can't help, and you tell the person without feeling agitated by his behavior, then there wouldn't be any impact, negative impact on your mind. The fact that at that moment you feel annoyed by his attitude, his behavior, his lack of effort, then at the last minute, he came and bothered you, that negative reaction was registered in your subconscious mind. And now with this mudita, it comes up. You have the opportunity to acknowledge that and to heal. Yeah.
After she wake up and then very joyful. After 2 months, and then unlucky, his son Lovis passed away. And then whenever she see me, she start to cry because of she missed his Lovis son. Last year, when they come to give the mental health, first mental he had, I also asked some doctor. They said that they give consultant to me to give some advice to the doing that for his novice son passed away. When I go back to my village, wherever she see me, cleanness and also condolence. This situation, if she face this kind of problem, how do you deal with? How do you give a consultant to her?
That should be Sally, but not Hillary's work. She's working on grief. My role would be first to listen to her, to let her speak, to let her talk, to listen to her sympathetic.
To acknowledge her pain. Yes, this pain is very big, and you just listen to that, and then ask her, do you dream about him? Do you remember him every day? And like what? And ask her. willingly interest, so show your interest. Then, if she is able to talk, you will understand her more, understand her pain. If you listen to her, she will feel that somebody understands her pain. She wouldn't feel lonely. Otherwise, she feels that she has no one recognizing her pain. So that's the first one. The second one is she needs to make sense why her son died very young. She needs to make sense. And this one, by talking to her, by listening to her, and then at some point, you will be able to help her to make sense. Some good people, they die very young, and how they move on like that. No. That she and her son, the relationship in this life, however short, it was an excellent one. They have pure metta for each other, and that sort of thing. To find something positive that she could understand and make sense of herself. She could still be proud being a mother of that son. After that, because this grieving process, now she's still, after many years, she's still in the grieving process. If she wants to do something for her son, in her son's name, in her son's memory, maybe planting a tree in the monasteries, or doing paint, donating a painting about, from some of the Jataka scene in his memory, or in Shan tradition, usually the family would donate, would ask the Jere to copy Lik Lom and donate it in the memory of the deceased. That kind of thing she can do. And hopefully that will be a closure for her. At the moment she is still, because she hasn't got the opportunity to grieve properly. So whenever she sees you, that becomes a trigger. You see, a trigger for loss. Yeah. That would be my advice. Oh, here. Oh, you look very young.
I have to do so many things, but as I said last day, we have to be happy. But when I work, and also I work every day, I don't know how to be happy all the time. But I'm worried. But sometimes I worry. But now I want to be happy all the time. But I cannot. How to practice today?
Oh, you miss 3 days. This is the 4th day of mudita. You miss 3 days of happiness. You see, when we had a celebration for your PhD here on my birthday, what you told me, whenever I remember that, okay, it filled me with joy. Okay, you said you come from a family, you come from a village with only 5 houses, 5 families. And now you have come up to this level. this level. You are serving the whole Sangha as Bodhanga Wonsao in the country, one of the 300 monks to be serving at that level. In the monastery in Panglong, you are the only one who graduated with the Majra degree from that monastery.
Only me.
Yeah, only you. You see, so you have to think about it, revisit when you study, revisit how hard is it, like that. And then be proud of your own effort, your own success. Think about it again and again. When you wake up in the morning, before you get up, give yourself 1 minute, just 60 seconds. Think about how hard you work, okay, to pass the Majra degree. And then after that, you didn't even know ABC. Okay, were you in your 30s when you went to Sri Lanka? How old?
I think 36.
36. So you started
learning
ABC. Yeah, ABC at the age of 36. You see, and then he got a PhD, from Sri Lanka, MA and PhD from Sri Lanka. He worked very hard. He went to British Council to study English, and maybe the teachers were younger than you, maybe.
I'm the oldest in the class.
The oldest in the class, yes. So that one you need to be proud, because you never give up. You never give up. And now during my birthday, some of your students, some of his students, okay, they came here as interpreter. They speak very good English, but they have never met a foreigner. So they study English with him in Pangdo. So a lot to be proud of him. But he himself, he forgets all of it. That is why he doesn't have happiness. So then, according to what we practice today, after that, after you have done mudita for yourself again and again, now you have to recognize the role of other people in your life. Your parents, your teacher, your devotee, your supporters, like that. If you think about their role, you recognize their role. Okay, how they help you to succeed, and also the other way around, how you make them happy, how you make them proud like this. Then you will be happy 24 hours a day.
Thank you so much for your teachings. And today I have another perspective. So when I practiced in this session, my mind was dominated by our recent writer's poem. So I could not cultivate mudita on myself. I could cultivate only karuna on myself. I feel like I'm very small, and but with my concentration, it's very clear. I am kind of a small person, and then I could develop easily the karuna on myself. Then I try to dig out my positive things. Okay, at least you could write the things, and also at least you could understand all the comments given by Sayadaw and the dean and other people, something like that. So then what I realized at that moment, I think thing is we have to dig. Otherwise, it will be stuck there like this. So I understand. I get that understanding, teaching. And my question is, if we have that mixing mind, compassionate mind, and rejoice, so is it true? It is correct if we practice together.
It's correct. Actually, I mentioned the other day in my answer to one of you that at a more advanced stage, we have to work on just one issue and to develop both Karuna and Mudita. Today, you can look at your shortcoming and then, recognize your current limitation and feel compassion for yourself. But at the same time, the information that you brought out today, you brought to the workshop, we just didn't have it, we didn't know. Only you knew it. So we actually learned a lot from your writing. And it takes a lot of time to gather a lot of information like that. So if you visualize yourself going to the library, borrowing books, reading them, and trying to understand them, and then trying to get some gist and put it into your writing, you will have a lot of mudita. Just focusing on today's piece of writing. But then you can also visualize Bowlby's book, Ainsworth's book, and how they work hard, to come up with that kind of theory, and to the extent that they publish and then receive recognition widely from other fellow professionals. So you appreciate them, you recognize their role in your work, then your mudita will be strengthened. I'm saying how mudita is strengthened because by recognizing other people's role in our work, we are reducing self-centeredness. We are reducing this. We still have self-confidence. At the same time, we are removing the side effect, which is self-centeredness. At the back.
Thank you for giving us time to answer all our questions. In the past, when I practice insight meditation or tranquility meditation, there is only me, myself, meditating. But now when I started practicing mudita meditation, it's like two selves. I'm meditating and this subconsciousness inside me is like come and talk to me. Because the other night I started to contemplate on the person I dislike, and then as you taught me, I tried to come up with that person's hardships and also that person's contributions in positive ways. I try to contemplate on them, but at the same time, the negative thoughts pop up all the time in my mind. And then even some of the facts I totally forgot. And these, if I think about these facts randomly, these would never come up in my mind. But these thoughts, negative thoughts come up, pop up. And so I always have to go away, don't come and distract me, something like that. So is it normal?
It's normal. I was saying the other day that Mudita, one of Mudita's functions is to diagnose, what is there in our subconscious mind. And this is what it was doing in your case. Some of the subconscious habits that we have accumulated, we don't usually see them. If we don't meditate, we don't usually see them. But they are there, like a shadow. Okay? Like a shadow, influencing our thinking. So if you have negative feeling, you have a lot of positive feeling towards the person, but you have some negative feelings as well. That mixed feeling the way become apparent in the way you deal with that person, because those mixed emotions, they actually dictate your behavior, your decision. So when we see that kind of negative emotion, negative reaction, we have to stop mudita for a few seconds and then acknowledge that. You are very familiar with Mahasi. You can acknowledge that. You can accept that negative feeling without being judgmental, without saying good or bad, without adding any value judgment. But just recognize it as, okay, this is pain. If you like, you can recognize it as pain, or a certain form of negative emotion. Breathe in and out and recognize that. Just be with that. Just be with that painful emotion. If with mindfulness we are with that kind of painful emotion, and those painful emotions, they don't increase. They don't increase. They only grow in the subconscious mind when we are not aware of them. Avijja, Pajjaya, Sankhara. Avijja, when we are not aware of them, Sankhara, they react and react and react, grow and grow and grow. That's what happened. So you need to actually be positive about that negative reaction. Yeah. Okay, maybe this is about for this evening. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.